Hey, howdy, hey friends and neighbors. Let's take a tour through my growing food forest. Well, first off, why am I pointing at this pile of wood and grass debris? This is a leaf catching wall. I'm just experimenting with it. You know, every year they drop leaves and the wind would blow the leaves way away. And I thought, well, let me just make a wall here, something that'll break down, decompose on its own, and it'll help catch the leaves and keep the nutrition, you know, the plant nutrients in the yard at least. So I'm working on that. We're gonna have some noise because this is actually not a busy road right here, except right this moment. Everybody seems to want to use it. Also, my wife is mowing, so maybe this was not the smartest time to do a video. I am so super duper smart. This will be the best video ever, guys. Let's watch it. These are sunchokes, or Jerusalem artichokes, and I've made a big long line of them to go by the road because they're gonna grow tall, and each year they're gonna be thicker and more, and it should help to block out the road noise and kind of make a privacy hedge. I've also got some Osage orange, now you can't see it, or horse apples, started because they can grow real thick. Wow, those kids sound happy, don't they? I better take care of that. Okay, hopefully that's taken care of. Yeah, Osage orange, they grow real thick together. They were used as a living fence, and that's what I really want to get, is more experience with living fences, because if they get damaged, they grow back, and plus, you can grow more and more of them without buying them once you have it started. All these yellow flags are just to mark little things I've put in the ground, just until they get big enough that I won't mow over them. I have dropped in lots of raspberries and blackberries here and there, and at the very beginning I had this set up more like a conventional orchard, so the big trees are more or less in rows, but I've been trying to break out of that and make it more natural feeling, where there are paths to go through, things to discover. I have lots of little things hidden here and there. Well, like there, that little lantern, lots of things hidden. I've got some St. John's wort, some garlic, rosemary. I've got a little herb area, Roman chamomile back there. The plums seem to be coming in real well this year, and I hope that they stay. Here's a cherry tree, and it might have one cherry on it. I've also got these, wood debris areas where I've tried to get it packed in real thick. The first year I did this, I just laid stuff down and I didn't chop it down, I didn't fill it in, and grass grew up through it really bad, and it sort of looked bad. That doesn't bother me too much, and it does provide a place for wildlife to live, but, I have to make peace with the wife too, and she basically lets me do whatever I want out here, and then she gets to do whatever she wants out there, more or less, So we kind of have our areas, but, I want her to be pleased. I want this to be something that she will like, so that then she will want me to, beautify some of the areas out there too, hopefully, in time. You got me a little bench right there. Okay, so you probably see how I've got this tree bent over and it's tied to some cinder blocks and pieces of wood and bricks. The reason is to help train the tree to open up more. If this was a real forest, there would be a lot of competition for sunlight, and if the trees don't grow straight up, tall, they may not get that. They may miss out on the sunlight. But here, they don't. I know how much competition they have and how much they don't. So I'm training them to grow over a bit more. Now this is a little risky. If I do it too much, the branch could break, or especially if there's a big storm or ice storm or even a real heavy fruit set on it, they could get too heavy and break. So it's a little risky. But the goal is to open the tree up so that it gets more sunlight, and also it shades out the grass on the ground around it. So it's getting it more like a forest faster. That's the goal. So far it seems to be working. I've got a little fake fire pit. Well, I guess you could use it as a real fire pit for the kids there. On the other, well, I guess I won't walk over there. I've got several experiment things planted different places. Horsetails, figs. I've got some willows on the other side of that fence because I'm experimenting with a living wall over there, but there's not much to see right now. Kids jumping on a trampoline. Elderberries, very happy. These were the elderberries, gosh, in an old video where I talked about propagating them, and they have jumped up. I just barely made that bed kind of nice. I loosened up the soil, and then they're there. A lot of plums, lots of plums, and we just had a bad hail and it knocked a bunch of them off, but there's still a lot there. Some of these rocks are strategic and not just to be pretty. It's also for when I pull a hose out here, because not everything is established. I still have to water things some. And if I want a bunch of fruit, I want to water it anyway, right? But the rocks help to keep the hose from dragging over other plants. There's a little spice bush by that flag there. Horsetail. I'm trying out sugarcane. I don't know if it's going to work. We're really too cold here in the winter. I'm going to try to mulch it real good. We've got peaches. We've got mulberries. That's an apricot. That was that one there. I don't think it's going to make anything for us. Maybe one or two. There's a little actual Athusea genus cedar. I forget, I've got so many different berry trees. I forget which one this is without looking it up, but I've got silver berries, salmon berries, autumn olives, lots of stuff. Or if they made the berries, I could tell you. I'm a fan of the paths. I really hope the grass doesn't grow through them too fast. Here's a little guy. A lot of this was from my grandmother's house, and when she passed away, I was able to go through, and you know, a lot of people, they didn't really want the little weird decorations, but I said, yes, I have a place for that. Oh yeah. That little purple flower, that's a spiderwort, and they are edible, very mild and nice. This one's not quite done. See how the grass is growing up in between it because it's not laid down on there thick enough. But I'm gonna love watching my kids come through here as this grows and as they grow and they, you know, make their own little, you know, play forts out here. Some of them are still young enough that they'll be making play forts out here when this is grown. Hazelnut. More peaches, lots of peaches, and lots of blackberries and dewberries. There's some sumac. There's that's going to be a Bradford pear, isn't it? I don't really want a Bradford pear here. I may take that one down. Oh, I got some sheep sorrel. Didn't even know that was over here. This is where it really opens up. I used to have more trees over here, but several of them died for various reasons, and I've replaced some, and I'm filling this area back in. I've got a ring of elderberries. You can't tell from the view here, but as they grow, it's going to make a circle, and I've left one space open so you can walk into the circle, and I'm kind of thinking of that as sort of the heart of the garden. You can go inside the very heart. I guess right now it's more of the outside of the garden, but you know, you got to think long term. I moved lots of prickly pears out here. I have a little bitty linden, and I'm really hoping that linden grows and grows because I like it. Some different mallows. I've got comfrey underneath just about everything, and garlic underneath just about everything. Some wild roses. That's another living wall I'm experimenting with. And hardy orange right here. It's not a true orange, but it'll grow in this area. It makes an edible fruit. And that's another one that I'm looking at experimenting with using as a living wall. We've also got some fire ants that we're dealing with. Some onions that I don't know when I planted those. Maybe we should harvest those and eat those. Here's an apple that's actually got several set this year. We haven't had many apples in the past, just one or two. I think this is going to be their year, I hope. That's an apple over there too that has a bunch of blooms, and I hope that they got pollinated. A little mulberry, more plums. This is the brush pile that was all grown up last year. Hazelnuts, more hazelnuts. And then this lady, this came from my grandmother's downstairs restroom, and I said, yeah, I've got a place for that, I'll take it. One thing I'm not super thrilled about, there's a power line right above it. I'd rather not be right below a power line. I don't know if there really is or isn't something to the, you know, power lines and the electromagnetic radiation. I'm not sure, but you know, we work with what we have, right? Got some tiger lilies going to come up over there. Anyway, I hope that wasn't just too random and confusing, but I am really pleased with how it's grown, really excited with how it's going and how it's going to go, and I hope that you enjoyed this little tour through my young food forest, and I will see you in another video. Thanks for watching.